Our first guest is heavily involved with the Waterkeeper Alliance and is the head of Mobile Baykeeper, an organization fighting for clean water, clean air, and healthy communities. Cassie Calloway couldn't make it to the show tonight, so we're doing her interview by Skype, and here it is.
We have Cade Kistler with us now with Mobile Baykeeper, correct?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, Casey, I guess, couldn't be here. She had a conference or something to go to, correct?
Yeah, she's in North Carolina at a Waterkeeper conference. Yes, sir.
Now, Cade, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm the program director here at Mobile Baykeeper, so I help execute the mission side of our work. Spent a little time working at a shipyard doing environmental compliance before I worked here, and have a degree in environmental science from Auburn University.
So that's kind of how you got started in this line of work?
Yeah, I got really interested in how I could try to do something that felt like giving back in this world, but also have some time outside where I really enjoy being. And environmental science was a perfect fit for my interests and skills.
Have you pretty much always had a passion for environmental issues?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it started out like many people as a passion for enjoying playing outside, right? Fishing, water skiing, swimming, mountain biking, whatever it could be. If I could be outside, I was typically happy growing up, which transferred into like, hey, let's make it where we can enjoy this for a long time to come, including our kids and grandkids.
Well, if it's something that if your work is something that you enjoy, it makes it feel a little bit less like work.
Absolutely.
Now, Baykeeper, I guess, is part of the Waterkeeper Alliance, right? So, and there is there are different member organizations all over the nation, correct?
Yeah, actually all over the world even. There's 300 plus, I think 340 plus member organizations of Waterkeeper Alliance all over the world. It's the largest and fastest growing movement solely to protect clean water. And Mobile Baykeeper does that work, acting as the voice for Mobile Bay and the surrounding coastal waterways in coastal Alabama.
Now, in Mississippi, we've got the Pearl River Keeper doing essentially the same kind of work as the Mobile Baykeeper does, right?
Yeah, they're a newer organization. Obviously, everywhere you go, you have different issues that you may deal with, and they have some different ones, but they have a lot of similar ones to what Mobile Baykeeper does. And they've got a great organization, up-and-coming organization, and Abby Brahms, who's the executive director, and the Pearl River Keeper, which is a title that every waterkeeper organization has, is a fantastic person who I really admire.
Now, we couldn't get Pearl River Keeper on for this particular show, but I was kind of curious if you could speak to any of maybe the broader issues that we along the coast and all over are being affected by.
Absolutely. Well, one that's real timely right now down here, and I know is really prevalent across the United States, but especially in areas where we get a lot of rain, like on the coast, is the issue of sewage spills. Obviously, sewage is not something we want out in our waterways. This is not a partisan issue. Nobody, Republican or Democrat, wants sewage in our waterways, want their kids to be swimming or fishing downstream of sewage spilling into our waterways. And it's a pretty big issue that we deal with it in basically every watershed throughout the U.S.
And actually, Mobile gets more rainfall than most cities in the country. I mean, everybody thinks of. Go ahead.
We're usually the rainiest major city in the U.S. with about 65 inches of rain a year, and it can come very quickly. I know we've gotten 20 inches in a day before.
I mean, most people think of Seattle and Portland as the wettest, cities in the country, but actually, Mobile, I read somewhere that Mobile actually has more inches per year of rain than they do. It just comes down in massive, like 45-minute spurts, and then all of a sudden it's dry an hour and a half later. But
yeah, that's exactly right. People that live here are very well aware of that. Just recently, we got like 7 inches of rain in maybe 12 hours, and you had flooding and these sewage spills that I was referencing going on. And yeah, they have a lot of rainy days in Seattle, but it's just gray and sprinkling. They don't get the kind of rain that we do on the Gulf Coast, and of course, we get a lot of sunshine too, which we love.
Which is a lot better than just that constant misery of, I went to undergrad in Rochester, New York, and we would get lake effect snow and lake effect rain. And so it was constantly overcast. And I used to joke that we had 3 seasons: winter, spring, and road repair.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
No, and it's depressing. It honestly is. So down here we don't have that. Now, Mobile, I know you guys have been doing some fantastic work at Baykeeper. Tell me about that, and what's your motto?
Yeah, I mean, our motto is clean water, clean air, healthy communities, and we really believe that the key to having a strong economy, the key to having a great quality of life, and people wanting to live in a place is having a healthy, vibrant environment. You've got to have these waterways that people want to come down here and fish on and boat on and swim in. And you can only have that if you protect them from pollution like those sewage spills I referenced. And I can talk more about that issue, but I also want to bring up something that I think, folks tuning in will find really interesting, which is Swim Guide. And this is an app where people can take a look at bacteria testing at beaches around them and make decisions about where they want to swim based on the latest bacteria testing. We update 34 sites every week during the summer around the Mobile, Baldwin County area, and let people know, where it's safe to swim, which is, unbelievably important for folks with families that may be wanting to go out and enjoy their weekend.
Now, what about coal ash? I understand that's one of the biggest fights you guys have on your hands right now because of the timetable. And other states across the nation have had coal ash issues as well. What does that battle look like right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, coal ash is a major issue. Essentially, what you've got going on is 20 million tons of this coal ash that contains everything that doesn't burn off with the coal. It's things like arsenic and selenium, heavy metals, sitting on the side of a major river, the Mobile River, right? And so it's basically just inside an earthen dam, kind of like the levees that you might imagine in New Orleans. And we've seen catastrophic spills of coal ash in Tennessee, over 1 billion gallons spilled into tributaries of the Tennessee River, in North Carolina after Hurricane Florence. And we don't want to see that happen here. You would never put a landfill on the side of a river if you had a choice where to put it. And other states, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, they're removing this coal ash. They're taking it from these unlined ponds on the side of rivers and putting it in landfills, upland lined landfills that are appropriate for this kind of material. And, we want to see that happen in Alabama. If it's good enough for others around the Southeast, we think it's good enough for Alabama. And even though it costs a fair amount, it protects our waterways and protects our health.
Hey, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a break so we can let our sponsors have a few ads real quick, and then we're going to come right back with Cade Kistler. We'll be right back.